Welcome, acolytes. Oh, whoa, this wasn't the best start. But yeah, still, welcome, acolytes. As you can see, I'm gonna start on a different thing because I forgot the effing music. Now we're there. Good. Today I'm reacting to Pyrocynicos, why they got cancelled. Who, when, and why? Those are my questions. The answers? I don't know. But I will know after I watch the video, and yeah, let's start after you subscribe and leave a comment. Just let's do it.
We've made a lot of videos talking about companies that are incredibly out of touch. We can talk about Nintendo that would copyright strike YouTubers, claim all of their revenue, but the only way you could avoid that is by joining their own multi-channel network where they'd basically take all of your money anyway. But now, which...
By the way, scummy as fuck. Extremely scummy. And I don't care what the fanboys say. That's scummy. You have to just think logical about it. That's scummy. That's really scummy.
Which is really surprising. Valve have actually joined the fold of being an out-of-touch company, taking down like fan games and, you know, stuff that pays homage to other projects. So you
what, really? Oh yeah,
heard of a project called TF Source 2, which was meant to be Team Fortress 2, but built on Valve's Source 2 engine. A much more updated version of the Source engine, like for example, Half-Life Alyx. That is Source 2, and it looks, it's a really good engine. So recently, one of the developers actually put out a message on their Discord saying, unfortunately, we've had a DMCA takedown from Valve, and because of that, we've basically decided to retire the entire project. So by the look of it, Valve don't want this small indie team to use their IP and have basically said, stop in the name of the law. Now, they don't seem...
No, I think it was I think with Asmongold, not this. Isn't this? With the AI? Because that's halfway understandable. I don't think it's right, but it's understandable at least. This sounds like something new. And probably, nah.
To show the actual message from Valve, the actual email saying, you know, can you stop doing all of this? And this is really strange because Valve are one of the most open companies with people using their engine, using their licenses, using their properties for like, you know, fan projects, fan games. For example, you had the Crowbar Collective that remade the entirety of Half-Life 1, the Black Mesa game. You know that funny game I played like 7 years ago, collecting the purple top hat?
I'm not enjoying this playthrough.
And it is definitely one of the most poorly aged series imaginable. My vocabulary there was embarrassing. You could tell that I was just some pasty little white boy that never went outside.
Are you a dubious little creature?
But that was a game that was basically remaking the original Half-Life on an updated engine, and Valve gave their full blessing for it. And other examples as well, like my main channel, half of the content I upload on there now is some kind of game that was inspired by Half-Life or runs on the Source engine. You've got Cry of Fear, for example, which runs on the Gold Source engine. Yeah,
and I'm gonna be honest, this was beautiful, by the way, because there came out so many just nice things. Or nice games, or at a bare minimum, even if it were bad games, they were at least interesting. Damn, perfect.
Last Valve engine before they moved over to Source. And to make the connection even closer, you had Entropy Zero. I literally titled that video Half-Life 3 because I thought, I mean, you know, this is basically the closest thing we'll ever get to Half-Life 3. Now, with cases like Entropy Zero, sense. Entropy Zero 2, I'm not exactly sure if Valve actually gave the blessing or more they just kind of went under the radar, but to be fair as well, it is also a completely free game. But it makes zero sense how some games get exceptions, but others don't, because all this company wanted to do was recreate Team Fortress, but on the updated Source 2 engine. But that's not the only thing as well. Valve have actually been doing DMCAs on other games as well. Like, for example, the Portal franchise. You know, I grew up playing those games, and someone actually did a demake, like basically scaling the game down, called Portal 64, which was meant to be the original Portal game, but it would look like an N64 game. Now, I don't even need to go into like how many indie games right now are using the filtered PlayStation 1 aesthetic. I mean, for example, Lethal Company, that game is like 7 polygons, and that is one of the most played games right now. But Portal 64, which was, you know,
and what I want to say, by the way, just so to add something to that, the graphics, because some of you may snuggle your nose and be like, oh, those graphics. Nobody gives a fuck about graphics, as long as the game is actually nice, playable, and good. You don't give a fuck about the graphics. Nobody gives a fuck about the graphics. It is what it is. Ugh! I effed up. I effed up. Damn! I effed up. I totally effed up. Can he? No. He will drive like this. Go out. Aggro this. Now he... Oh, perfect, perfect. Now I may have a chance if I do... No, this is fine. Please get dazed. Please get dazed. And can I actually... He resisted. Ooh, whoa. Oh, this wasn't good. This wasn't a good idea. But maybe I still have a chance here. Barely, but I may still survive some... no, okay. Good, was worth a try. That's the only way how you can get your skills up.
Open source N64 demake of Portal, they were also hit with the DMCA claim from Valve. You can see some of the gameplay here as well for the demake, and it looks cool. I mean, it's not like if this game went out, Valve was going to go bankrupt overnight. Because when a lot of these game companies, when they do DMCAs, the main reason they do it is money and attention. Because a lot of companies are really worried that if you do some kind of fan game or some kind of offshoot without their consent, you might make a lot of money off that. And if you're not making a lot of money, if the game is free, it might generate a lot of attention that the main company isn't getting, despite the fact that you're basing the game off a game, so the original game would get attention anyway. It's almost like Valve is a little bit insecure as well, because keep in mind it has been like 7 years since, I don't know, Jungle Inferno, basically one of TF2's biggest updates. It's almost like they have this game with an insane player base that has gone free to play, it's boosted the player numbers, but they don't know what to do with the game, they don't have the staff. I think I heard in like one Valve interview, they've got like 7 or 8 people that are actually still working on Team Fortress 2, and for how huge and monolithic Valve is, that's not a lot of people. Jerry, someone's trying to make a fan game that might take attention from Team Fortress 2. Shut it down. And in return for the community waiting for 7 years with no content, give them a free hat. Now, it does seem that over time, Valve is definitely becoming a lot more callous. What a lot of people have actually thought about, a possible game theory, rest in peace, Matt Pat, is that Valve could actually be working on a Source 2 version of Team Fortress 2 themselves, which, to be fair, would kind of make sense, because then it's like, if a fan company creates the game before the huge conglomerate company, that is not a good look. That is very embarrassing. But that's basically the only excuse they have, because why would you shut down a fan project that's basically trying to just pay homage to, you know, the original work? Again, I don't mean to harp on, but when I covered Entropy 02, the team that made that, Breadman, the voice actors, they all did such an amazing job. But that game did not, you know, just exist in the Half-Life lore. It actually tried to rewrite and intertwine itself with the actual Half-Life lore. And that should piss off Valve to the point where they go, nope, you're messing with our canon, get rid of that. But they still haven't done that. But to be fair, in their defense, Half-Life 3 is basically so dead and buried at this point. You might not know this, but one of the writers for Valve, Mark Laidlaw, he actually wrote, I think, a web document called Ep Thistle 3, and he basically switched all the characters' names around, like Gordon Freeman, Alex Vance, gave them different names. But basically, without being sued, he did this for like fair use to avoid, like, you know, the Valve hitman coming across and like, just like one-tapping him. But he basically went into detail how Half-Life 2 Episode 3, or Half-Life 3, would have played out. And he was allowed to get away with that because Valve just do not seem to care. But again, shutting down a remake of one of your most successful games, it doesn't make any sense. One point to bring up as well, to be fair, it does seem that Valve are actually targeting multiplayer games, multiplayer mods and remakes, like for example, CSGO, Sandbox, that's meant to be the sequel to Gary's mod, and, you know, this Team Fortress 2 mod. They don't really seem to be going after any kind of single player conversions, single player mods. Also, one point I forgot to bring up as well, like I said earlier, the Portal 64 demake was actually removed entirely. They were given a DMCA to take that down. Thinking on it now, while recording this video, that was probably not out of like the callousness of their blackened heart. That was probably because they were so scared of Nintendo getting involved, because I literally began this video by talking about how Nintendo are a terrible company when it comes to any kind of creator relations. They are so out of touch. So yeah, Valve probably told them to shut down Portal 64 so they didn't get a lawsuit from Nintendo. I think one of the biggest ironies about Valve DMCAing like a fan project that was based off one of their games is the fact that they've got Left 4 Dead, Portal, Team Fortress, and all of these games are and still incredibly successful, they were all based off Half-Life. They were mods of an original game. A lot of these were so successful that Valve actually said, you know what, come onto our team, we're gonna hire you. That was the example with Left 4 Dead, that was the example with Portal. They were fans that loved Half-Life and loved Valve so much, they made their own spin on it, and Valve liked that and then brought them into the fold. I mean, for example, Team Fortress 2, that is an amazing game. Like, there are so many stylistic choices in it, how all the characters, you know, if you blacken them all out as silhouettes, you could still tell what each character is from that, you know, unique style alone. That game would not exist without Team Fortress Classic, which was a fan game. I think it's kind of funny as well because Team Fortress 2, like I said, it is a game that really does not get updated despite having a huge player base. Like, they have so many problems at the minute. They have a bot crisis, for example. I think I made a video on this a little while ago, how if you join any public lobby in TF2, there's a very high chance that there'll be bots there. They'll usually be playing as the sniper and just scope you from across the map, usually doing this thing. I don't know. I don't know if you've seen spin botting. They'll just get a gun and they'll just start doing this, spinning on the floor, or maybe they'll have the gun in the air and just keep spinning like this. It is horrible. Like, I have not played TF2 in months because of that. Just all these horrible bots that invade the lobby and ruin it for everyone. Now, I've seen a lot of people make the comparison, including myself. Why was, you know, Half-Life 1, the remake of that by Crowbar Collective, why was that allowed? Why did Valve add it onto their own Steam page, even add it into the Half-Life franchise list on Steam? Why does that get a pass? But then, you know, Team Fortress 2 on Source, why does that get DMCA'd? One of the main reasons behind this might be the fact that the Half-Life 1 remake, Black Mesa, was actually Crowbar Collective's reimagining of the game. To be fair, most of the maps, most of the environments were pretty much the same, but they've added new things, slightly different environments, a lot of character dialogue as well that was basically recorded from scratch that was not in the original game. But then Team Fortress Source 2 was just the entirety of Team Fortress 2 imported into Sandbox. I think, to be fair, TF Source...
Yeah, I mean, you can overdo it, and I'm gonna be honest, like, I don't know exactly. It's just, if you have something inspired by it, I think it's fine. But if you basically copy the entire thing, that's the point where you actually run into problems. That's something that should not happen. But yeah.
2 was already running into problems. Like, for example, it was running on Sandbox, and then Sandbox, the developers said, you know, we're going to change a lot of the engine, which pretty much put all of their work to basically back to square one. And now, obviously, they've been hit with the DMCA. It sucks. It really does suck, because I know a lot of people in the Team Fortress community were really excited for this. But here you can see pretty much all the character models exactly the same, but the environment itself, the lighting especially, it looks really, really good. A lot of the assets like the fire and stuff,
yeah, he's correct
the
about
gibbing
that.
there, the gore, that is all pretty much unchanged. It's exactly the same. It's really cool to see Team Fortress 2 with a new coat of paint. I mean, even now, like, Team Fortress 2 still has basically over 100,000 players concurrently. That is wild. Look at that. How are people still playing that, man? Now, obviously, I'm a huge TF2 fan myself. I've said that many a time. I grew up playing the orange box on the Xbox 360, and they never updated the game. And then I played Team Fortress 2 on stream. There was that incident where I had a mod. And then, I'm happy to say I've installed more mods since. I will not be playing Team Fortress 2 on stream. But yeah, overall, it's a sad situation. It really is, because modders, like, I don't think people understand how much modders put into games, and they do it like, I will never comprehend this. They do it for free. I upload onto YouTube. I give my opinion that no one cares about. I stream. I get bullied. I upload reviews on video games that are like overly long and bloated and inflated, pyro reference. But I get paid for that. Modders do it for free. And that will be such a testament, the dedication and probably mental illness of these people that they will put into projects. It's insane. I almost partly feel like a bit of a leech, how you'll have people that, you know, like Rumpel making Cry of Fear, Breadman making Entropy. They do it for free, and then all I do is talk about the game, and then I get paid for it. Like there is something really messed up with that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm probably going to boot up Team Fortress 2 now. How does Critical end these videos? So yeah, that's it. See ya.
Yeah, it's also a bit hard, to be honest, because a lot of people actually feel somewhat, how can I say it, entitled to their work, that you cannot even use their work even remotely that resembles, it can't even resemble remotely the work in any way or kind or something different like that. It's mostly because of the reaction video thing, I think, and just because of pure greed of the people that actually do that. Because at the end of the day, well, I mean, we are actually posting these videos, this stuff, on a open platform where everybody can see your videos, everybody can respond to it, everybody can actually give their opinion about it. So being like, hey, you cannot use that, or as Valve does just now, you can't use our assets in this way, it's a bit disingenuous, to be honest. I don't like it, but well, it is what it is, I guess. Good night.